Second, get my shit together.
Where's Armando?
Just me and you tonight. We're solo dolo.
Hey,
Armando headed to his dad bought the new Corvette, so they're actually headed to the factory to go pick it up.
whoa, that's nuts.
I forget what it is. I think it's like Tennessee or I think it's Kentucky. I think he's going to Kentucky right now.
That's nuts.
Right out there. Yeah, his dad's a big car guy, so right when like the newest Corvette came out, he's like pre-ordered it.
Wow,
Like a fucking baller.
that's lit.
So Tyler, I mean, the floor is open. As our conversations typically go, they go anywhere. So I'm game. I don't know what's top of mind for you, but what are you even thinking about? I feel like I just been getting an energy from you of recently. That is, I wouldn't say more deeper, or I feel like you're doing things, but you're not saying it. Are you in a state of action right now?
I feel like I'm in a state of action and a state of stillness.
Mm, tell me about it.
Um, I feel like right now been a shift for me, especially moving back home after being in SF for like 4 years.
So you're there like permanently, or just like you're doing online until things reopen?
I'm going online, but it's like after next semester, it's no point in me being on site because I won't have any studio classes.
And you're textile, correct?
Yeah. And um yeah, it's a challenge being at home when you have a lot of things to do.
Now, what is something that you're working on currently? Like, I saw you outside. You were painting. I feel like
Yeah.
you're a collective of like-minded individuals.
Yeah, I've been painting a lot. Um I met some very great beings as of lately over this summer
Mm,
and just helping our community, really just trying to keep the not even trying, we have been just keeping hope alive, keeping the love alive in our communities, Lamert Park. um and just, yeah, it's been a lot going on as
mm.
we, and it's important to remind people to stay grounded and to stay just just tap in. We don't always have to be acceptive or absorbing the things that are being told to us in the media.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think there's a harsh narrative being fed to people, and I feel like they're almost just I don't know. Don't you get the sense that they're just kind of, or the people around you are just regurgitating the toxicity,
Hmm.
like regardless of which side they kind of nest in, where they whatever they plant their feet in. Um, I wouldn't say either or is saying something that is, or trying to delineate a message that is helpful, or to be trying to connect rather than divide
Mhm.
constantly. Uh,
Yeah.
but I've been, you had I think you posted something, and it was almost, when I read it, I thought of you, obviously, but because obviously you posted it, but I thought of you in the sense that you do this, and it was something about like being like, say you're in a conversation or something like that, and you're so open or so altruistic that that person feels very comfortable, something along those lines, speaking with you.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about that, because I don't know, when I read that, like I kind of paused, you
Mhm.
know, and I thought about just how kind of rare that is, and like how how sometimes people don't punctuate the moment when they run into a person like that, and how just kind of just relieving being around those people. And I think obviously you're one of those people in my life. Donnie's one of those people. Armando's one of those people, um, that have this disarming nature to them, to where it feels as if you can be humiliated in front of them, and it's not going to, sway their opinion about you. You know what I mean? Like there's no status on the line when you're around those people. And I guess that theme of humility has been something, I don't know, I've been like reflecting on a bit. And I don't know, when you think of humility, do you think like, do you have any thoughts that come to mind, or like ways of you interact with people, or you know what I mean? I kind of reflect on humility.
Yes. Humility is like super big. Like it's a big theme in my life. Like this tattoo I have on my hand.
I
It
know.
I got it a few months ago.
Mm.
It's the West African Adinkra symbol for strength and humility. And if you look at it, it looks like it's two rams, like two rams with like their horns,
I do see that. Now, what do the rams symbolize?
like strength, and not giving up, and just being able to take things head on,
Mm.
still having the capacity to, like, if I don't know if you ever seen like rams fight, but they be fighting and then it's over with. Like it's like they just came to the conclusion like, okay, we're both rams, we shouldn't be fighting.
Yeah, they legit fight head on.
Yeah, they just fight head on and then let it go, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah,
Um,
I've definitely seen a few YouTubes.
yeah. And humility, I feel like it's so important. It's something that I have been incorporating to my being, or just like activating in my being, because we're naturally like at this state before we're indoctrinated with different opinions and thoughts of different people and things.
Now tell me, how do you sift through the bullshit so well?
How do I sift through the bullshit?
Yeah, I mean, like, because there's obviously a lot of external things that could,
Yeah.
push you in multiple different directions and kind of inform your opinions. But I feel like you're very headstrong, in that regard. How does one even attain that kind of equanimity that you have?
I think it's just having a strong sense of yourself, you know?
Can
When
I say
you
something real quick?
Yeah.
You've always been a person where, like, okay, like this is happens, like when I first met you, and then like the years to come after, like you, like we're walking, we're typically mob deep, you, Daniel, Tyler, back in the good old days. And say a person approaches the group that you may not be familiar with, I instantly look to you, and I could just tell, like, you're just not fucking with this person. Or like they're saying something that is just like, we shouldn't even, I don't want to say humor this person, or, be like, this person has some discrepancies, what
Yeah.
I mean, that we need to be aware of. But that's just, no, I just thought I'd point that out, because I feel like you have been a person that, I don't know, has that ability.
Yeah, I've always been a person that's been able to read people's energies. I'm just recently becoming more appreciative of it. Um and I just feel like a lot of people, some people aren't even themselves. Like they're walking around and they're completely, somebody else is controlling their ship, you know?
Mm.
And it's not even them talking. And sometimes like most times I can feel that.
You can
And
feel the cliche
yeah, it's like the cliche, or it's just like they're
character.
they're saying things that they're being told to say by some other entity, or they're just speaking through like their trauma, or just speaking through like just something that I can tell is just like, I'm just like, this isn't really good for us right now. We should keep going and leave them where they at, because they're throwing us off track. We're on track and they're a distraction.
Yeah, like a radical agent that's trying to
Yeah, exactly. And I
break up
always
the
be
feng
able to find-
shui.
and as you know, some people in our friend group, Skinny Panda, he likes to talk to everyone. He doesn't give a fuck. I mean, talking to
That's
everyone,
bring randoms around.
he does have a lot of randoms around.
I would say 92% of them are toxic.
Yeah, exactly. So I've always just been like, okay, like next, like we don't need this over here. Let's keep going.
I remember one time me and Daniel went out, and those typically those solo dolo nights, mano a mano nights, typically ended up in a fucking hell nest with. And I just remember waking up, or just kind of just not even waking up, just being on his bed with a woman, and just looking around me. It's really taking like getting a real perspective of what the fuck's going on. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? It just looked like something. It looked like biblical, like it looked like hell, like a metaphorical contemporary hell.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is hell on earth. This is like a metaphor for hell right here. Like everyone just like is a slave to their urges. Everyone's doing cocaine or having sex, or just like he's really just being a little selfish little bitch. You know what I mean? I was like, this is like everything that's just like temporary, just short term kind of thing. Like everyone's just trying to get their thing in right now. Everyone's just get it in right now. Get their pleasure in right now. Um, Now, segueing from that, like, do you have like, I mean, do you always just be in the present, or do you have something like more so long term? Like, do you like have like, I don't want to say a grand plan or a master plan, but like, do you think like how far ahead do you think, or is that something that you try to stop, not do?
Um, it's kind of both. I mean, I do know what I want out of life, which is to be able to live somewhere where I can breathe clean air and drink spring water and put my feet on the ground and possibly climb a tree that's in my front yard and pick fruit and grow my own food and yeah, things like that. But I like to I mean, I understand.
I like the simplicity in that answer.
I mean, life is supposed to be, we make it complicated with all these things, thinking we have to do all these things, and it's like reality we don't. Like there's enough room and space for everybody to do nothing, and we should just do that. But yeah, I sometimes like I just know that where I am right now, where this thing that I'm a part of, that we're all a part of, is something that we are supposed to be figuring out how to get out of.
Do you think
And
there's something after this,
yeah,
or do you think there's something in this? Like
there's some
like how religion has heaven and hell, the after, but metaphorically sometimes I think that's heaven and hell are here. When I read like stories like that, I'm like, that's a metaphor for things that happen on earth. Do you think like what you're talking about is nested in us, or in this reality, or do you actually mean physically somewhere else? Or because I was talking to Donnie, and sometimes like Donnie, like I can like I look him in the eyes, and I could tell like he can't articulate what he's trying or what he's felt.
yeah.
Like you can't speak it. You can't speak this feeling yet. There's not words that have been created to articulate what he's feeling.
In sounds in images, maybe.
Yeah, and like I'm really, because like I haven't gone to the depths to which maybe you and him have, whether even be like something psychedelic, you know. But I feel like he's constantly in and out of something. like he's like not like he's like somewhere else. Physically he's here, but he's channeling something that is
Yes, out of this world, not
so
from.
what I mean by that is like that's something else. Is that what you mean by like something not here? I don't know if this is making sense, but
Complete sense. It's the thing is that we're like, okay, let me back to answer your first question about the heaven hell thing.
okay, go for it.
I believe that heaven and hell are states of being,
Okay.
but as well as if we understand just like everything, we're living in ourselves. Like what we see all around us is ourselves. So it's like what's going on inside us is can either be heaven or hell, and also outside of us can be heaven or hell depending on our inside, you know? And after you leave this experience, you return depending on how you lived your life and the lessons you've learned, and if you need to come back and do it again, you will return home, or you will continue on to keep learning.
So you're saying
And I feel like right now we're in a time where God wants us to show ourselves to see who deserves to come back home and who needs to stay they badass at home. I mean, they badass at school and keep learning until they learn. You know, like that's like the simplest way I can put it.
so in a sense you do believe in something after this. Like
I believe it's something before, during, and after. It's all happening together.
oh, shit.
You know, it's all happening together. It's all connected. And if we even think about like where we're going, we've already been. And we're back here again. And we're gonna go. It's just like this big.
Yeah. No, I think I'm connecting some dots. Yeah. Like sometimes I think, yeah, hell can rise to the surface. Like, you know what I mean? Like this in a sense is something so unprecedented. Like right this moment right now. This is something very interesting to kind of like observe, you know, from a sufficient distance. You know, when I think about what's going on, and it seems as if this is the sum of all our bad decisions
Mm.
or our kind of greed or selfishness or whatever, you know. Like I think this is a moment where we're almost I don't know, I don't want to say like
Forced to see ourselves, you
yeah,
know?
like a moment of reflection. I think the pandemic just at a smaller scale has forced us to reflect on a lot of different things, just even on a personal scale. Like I think people have been thinking, and maybe like, and I think people have also been doing bad things during the pandemic, and you know, using it to kind of just not, you know, progress and have some sort of fortitude of mind. Um, but now tell me something like you're reading right now.
Oh, okay. I'm reading this one. I just bought like $304 worth of books. And I'm just like, fuck it. It's time to go in. Um
About
right
$4 of books.
right now I'm reading this book called Rocks of Ages, a new edition. A new edition by Ross Ben. He's an OG original uh celestial being that is he's from Philadelphia, I believe, and he's been studying crystals, just bio crystalline energies in beings, which is us, um, electromagnetics, astrology, cosmology, all to the origin, to the root, not like this new age spirituality shit. You know, like he channels from
Bullshit.
the ancient future source. He channels, yeah. And so this book is basically he goes through the different ages of the zodiacs and he connects them. He goes through a Kemetic point of view, which is Kemet is what Egypt was before the Romans named it Egypt, before they came over there and took over. Kemet, black land of the black people. And they were the ones who, we were the ones who basically gave the world its first everything, its first kind of culture. Um, he talks about the Anu beings. Anu beings. I don't know if you heard of the Anunnaki, but that's what I get when I hear Anu. And Anunnaki means beings who came from the heavens or like future selves. So you and I will have an Anunnaki self, a future self that comes from above.
Mm.
And the Anu beings are the first, they came from Sirius, which is a star nation in the sky. And they come from there. I just learned the original name. I can't remember, but Sirius is like a new name they're trying to call it, but I have to look it up. But they came from there and they're responsible for the first African heritage. They left us the pyramids and the scripts and everything, hieroglyphs on the walls and all of that.
Your balls deep in Egypt.
Yeah, basically. And they are responsible for the Nubians, the Kemites, and all those, this everything that started in Africa, along the Nile Valley, the Nile River. And yeah, and then it's just he just goes through all of that, and then he just ties it all into to crystals and them being here to help us, but we're also here to serve them and to use to give them what they need so that they can help us. And that's initially what we're doing with the star nations and our galactic ancestors, is we're showing them that we remember and that we need their help because shit's going down over here on Earth and we need y'all motherfuckers to come get us. Cause so I know you see all the NASA videos now want to talk about how they are finding spaceships and like all this stuff. And yeah, there's, for one, they're gonna stage an alien invasion. It's not gonna be a real one.
They're staging alien invasions.
Yeah, because they are.
That's what we need right now.
Yes.
That's what we gotta throw in the culture right now. Just aliens.
Yeah.
Put everything.
Invasion. They already are uploading videos talking about, oh, look at this extraterrestrial.
Watch things like this.
Huh?
This is not this type of information is not on my feed.
Yeah, it's not. These people.
Where are they located?
Everywhere.
This isn't YouTube.
This is everywhere and nowhere. Like you can go. There's a select few people on Instagram talking about it. There's a select few people
on Instagram
talking about it. Some people on YouTube, their videos get taken down when they talk about it. And there's like, and it's in the media, like they put this shit in plain sight. They've been telling us this shit since forever. Everything they do, they tell us ahead of time, but we too busy thinking everything is for entertainment that we don't see the signs. And
kind of tell us
shit happened with 9/11. Like they was been putting that shit in our face in cartoons and all these different things, and everybody thought that was just that. Then when it officially happened, for some reason everybody got amnesia and can't see that this already happened on TV and now it just happened in real life.
Like Trump winning the election in The Simpsons.
Yes, exactly. They tell us this shit. They
have channeling it. Why is The Simpsons always the vehicle to tell us profound shit?
I don't know, but I mean, it's predictive programming. It's predictive programming because they tell us it's gonna happen and we see it and we believe it and it manifests. Or they just already got all this shit figured out because they got Tesla's time machine and they be fucking timeline hopping and moving shit around.
Mm.
And yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
there's a lot there. I mean, I hate to plead ignorance on some of those topics, but I would have to. But I feel like the Egypt topic is always something that's always interested in me, but I've never even dipped a toe into it, to be
yeah.
completely honest. And I know there's like huge, what's his name, Graham Hancock, who I think talks extensively about Egypt and how like everyone's got it wrong about the timeline of Egypt and when it was and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, in the artwork and like what exactly like where when the pyramids were actually made and like all this stuff. And it's like it's super interesting. I just don't know why I haven't dug deep into it.
Yeah. I mean, initially this is all our history. You know, this is all of our um
Isn't it fascinating?
yeah.
Like sometimes like when I just think about like sometimes like you really need like just a moment going back to this idea of stillness. Just a moment to like sometimes I sit outside and I like waking up really early now. This is kind of my thing.
Nice.
Because I've been studying this stoicism of recently, and that's kind of been my thing of recently. But I'll get into that later. But when I wake up early, because you haven't really been affected by the world yet. You know, no one's you don't check your phone, you don't do anything yet. No one's trying to reach out to you. No one's up really around 6 o'clock
Yeah.
now, and you're sitting there. And I live on Sunset now, so I can hear the ocean from my backyard. I can hear it, like that kind of energy.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, like I really am just like, what is this shit? I really think about this, like that. I reflect on that, and I reflect on my death a lot, on my
Mm.
mortality to some degree, uh, and how much time one wastes in a day or a week or a lifetime, um, and just how kind of like transient this is, how this is just all gonna come to an end, and and just having a willing acceptance of dying and being okay with that. But yeah, I don't know, this idea of stillness and really kind of just taking like I think people just don't take a step back and be like, yo, what the fuck? Like this is crazy. Like look at this. Like look at this fucking matter you're floating around. Like this is like there's so much to be in awe at when you really just take a step back and just like think about it just for a moment.
Yeah.
Like instead of just being swept up into the momentum of external stimulation and just kind of entertainment, sometimes like on even the smallest scale, I just don't get why people aren't that interested in life. Like really, like people are not fascinated by whatever this is,
Yeah.
you know? Like I don't know if that's cultural conditioning or just the narrowing complexities of a lot of things and how the pace of everything makes you not be able to maybe view things and how nuanced everything is.
Mhm.
There's probably a lot of things, there's a lot of things that maybe, make people not have such a wider lens. But sometimes on even on the smallest scale, I'm just like, how can you not be fascinated by life?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? You ever sit here, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you smile.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna come to an end.
Yeah.
You know?
You're just right.
Attack life. It's gonna kill you anyways.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I've been
It's the condition.
deeply reflecting on a lot of things actually, but just on like the fragility of everything and how this pandemic has just kind of exposed that and how fragile a lot of structures are.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but
it's really like like I know exactly what you're talking about. Like being home is so hard for me because I'm used to being in San Francisco.
it's so hard.
Go outside and go walking anywhere and go. hug a tree somewhere without people looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong
Are
with
you
it?
actually physically hugging a tree?
Yeah, I like to hug trees
Okay.
or talk to them or, just like be in the moment and appreciate all the living things around me because these things are alive. Just because I don't hear them or they don't move the way I move and speak the way I speak, it doesn't mean they're not alive.
Mm.
And and we have to acknowledge these things in order for them to know that it's okay for them to communicate with us. And that's essentially how it is with all things. And that's how it is with like if you just like tap into, wanting to hear from your ancestors and helping, because essentially that's why we're here is to heal our ancestors and heal our lineages from um the from the karmatic debt that we got, because we all here because we gotta do some shit. Our ancestors did some shit that we gotta figure out and heal for ourselves. But if we acknowledge these things, they come alive because they know it's okay now to come forth. But what I was getting at is like being at home, it's like my parents, they work regular my whole life. And now they work regular jobs, go to work at like 6, 7 in the morning. My dad goes to work at like 5 a.m. My mom goes to work at like 7 in the morning. My dad gets off around 3. My mom gets around 4:30, and it's been this way for about 25 years. And I see them, they're just like they're not even alive anymore. They're
Mm.
walking dead people because they have the same routine. They don't they come home, they sit in front of the TV and they watch some shit that is like not really healthy stimuli. Um
Yeah, I mean,
this thing, and they don't see the significance of just going outside and standing out in the sun for 30 minutes or actually being happy to breathe in deeply and to drink some water and feel it nourish your cells inside, or just they can't feel this life in them anymore because they're caught up in surviving, which
mm,
is, it's not their fault, but it's
yeah, no, you can empathize with them, but yeah, it's like there's like people that there's people that are technically living but technically dying.
yes, exactly, it's like you're just waiting to die at this point. You're just like, I'm
Just
just,
getting to the finish line, really.
yeah,
Yeah. No, it's
when it's like you can live your whole life up until you die. You can live, and when you die you can live on. I mean, we do live on, but it's like, why not live up until that moment?
there's something that I think there's a decision that one has to make, and I think we've been fortunate enough to understand this at a very young age, is you have to challenge it. Like there's something extremely important about challenging oneself, whether it be spiritually, creatively, even physically challenging
Yes.
the body and pushing it to its limit. And I think there's something very easy about slipping into a routine like that, to where they get this kind of stimulation. It's very easy to slip in front of a TV. It's very easy to do I don't say it's easy, but it's a lot less stressful to have a more mundane job for 25 years,
Mhm.
um, to where there's really no external challenges other than maybe the day-to-day kind of bumps and lumps that you probably run into, but it's nothing to where it's going to shake you to your core. As I feel like maybe when we search for some profound answers, and I think there's a lot of suffering when you seek out knowledge. And I think obviously the common dictum of ignorance is bliss. That is, I mean, that is fact. And I think, I don't know about you, but the more I learn, the more I have to be okay with being disappointed in people. Uh,
Mhm.
and and that's fine. It's just like you have to understand that people aren't going to be at the standard at which you hold yourself to. And I get that a lot. And then just in like this personal development, like people aren't going to want to self isolate themselves and read 10 books and to run at 6 in the morning, or people or want to like hug a tree or try something different or put themselves out there like you do and like we do, um because that has too much friction.
Mhm.
There's too much friction in the day to where that discomfort is nowadays. I feel like you can get away, you could survive, as you said, with very little discomfort. And I think discomfort and suffering and challenging and obstacles is the only way one even achieves the slightest bit of wisdom. Um, and like I don't know, when I first originally started studying Stoicism, and it kind of being the philosophy that informs my sort of regimented, disciplined life that I've had, but I never really knew how to channel it in a way. Like I would be overexerting myself or overdoing this, and it was in a sense my discipline became very toxic, because I looked at discipline as something that is something you had to have. uh,
Mhm.
but through this philosophy, you study, what you do every day kind of becomes who you are, and how you prepare yourself for your day kind of barricades your mind for ignorant people, obstacles, challenges. And there's a willing acceptance to challenge I guess when you follow more so a stoic path. And I think that's what really excited me, because they always have this kind of saying of obstacle is the way. Obstacle is always the way. Um, you invite the obstacle, you invite the challenge, you even invite, there's a meditation called premeditatio malorum, where it's you almost barricade your mind or prepare your mind in the morning. You're gonna run into shitty people. You're gonna run into ignorance. You're gonna run into people that um, say terrible things about you, that really try to throw you off your core. There's the external stimulation that's going to, in a sense, try to shake you and try to get you off that equilibrium. You just preparing your mind and kind of putting that cage around it. You're almost just too prepared for the bullshit, to where almost like when it doesn't happen, when you don't actually run into those type of people, you're just reluctantly surprised. And I feel like that's just how like my mind has been kind of molded of maybe the past 3 4 months, is I just expect almost everything to go wrong, and when it doesn't, I'm just reluctantly surprised. Um, and I guess I kind of got off on a tangent there, but um, there's something to that though. There's something like every morning though. This is something that I think people slip on, is that every morning you have to sweep the floor. And what I mean by that is you have to remind yourself of almost the philosophy that informs your days. And I think this is a daily, like this daily meditation for me has become the challenge that propels me forward, is just reminding myself of these kind of sayings and these ways of preparing or in barricading the mind, um, for just how hard life is, and being okay with that and making sure that you kind of almost like just a willing acceptance of it. But I mean, and I think that's just probably something that almost just kind of changes your perspective. I think that's a huge thing right now. It's like, how do you look at the situation? You know, is how are you viewing? Because like anyone can say anything, like, or even like you telling me something I have no idea about, but it sounds incredibly fascinating. I am more so likely to look up what the hell you're talking about because I find it challenging. It's an obstacle for me,
Mhm.
but it's because I want to accurately comprehend what you mean.
Mhm.
I don't think people want to accurately comprehend
Yeah.
what one is what one even like stands for, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
They can't even receive it. They don't want to because their mind's already made up.
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate because that is the nuance that I think makes life worth living. And I think those little moments, those little small moments of just kind of a mutual understanding between your fellow human,
Yeah.
that's it. I mean, it's not it, but it's something that is an unconscious sort of connection.
Yeah. It's just like when how we were starting off and you were talking about um being able to have people around that you can be completely vulnerable basically and it doesn't um affect anything between you and the person except bring you closer or just like just have that under inner and understanding of each other
Yeah,
and um it's like we can't well we can but people aren't they just want everyone they think that we're here to all agree. They think that we're here, that everybody around them needs to have the same views and morals as them. And if they're not, they're a bad person. And this person is just like the worst ever. When it's like, no, we're just here to learn from each other. And if we're all just open to hearing each other's sides, you don't necessarily have to adapt to what they're saying, but you can just be like, okay, I understand and I respect same as I have my beliefs or my lifestyle, you have your own, and this life is for the both of us to go deeper in that.
yeah. And I feel like as long as like the opposing lifestyle isn't one that is harmful or something that could radically adjust the foundation of how people treat each other in a negative way,
Yeah.
then I find such a beauty to the contrast between people.
Mm.
Like I like that, like what I mean, because like on a small scale where when it comes to like fashion, like I love, like I'm very much a minimalist. I'm very, I like really nice sweaters and trousers. And that's really neat. But I love when people are overtly just bombastic and crazy and theatrical. And I love that that exists. Like I'm okay, like what I mean? Like I'm not just like that can't exist because it's not my, it's like I need that to exist because
Yeah.
that person is just expressing themselves in such obviously a beautiful way to where like I'm just glad that this can happen. I'm glad that that tribe of people can exist. And that's a small scale, but I'm okay with like people just being different. Yet there's still this mutual compassion between humans.
Yeah.
There can be tactful speaking, there can be discourse, there can be conversations, you know, to when it's civil, as long as it's civil and there's an understanding. But nowadays, it feels as if the other side is just trying to win.
Yeah.
And that's always, you ever notice that when you get into a conversation where someone's just trying to win it?
Yeah. It's like there's nothing to win.
Like nothing's going to get taken out of this.
Yeah.
Like you're just going to spin my words, take it out of context, and just be like tone deaf. Like I nothing I hate more than just tone deaf people. Like
Yeah.
you knew what I meant by that. Like when I'm joking, and obviously I can joke on a very
Yeah.
harsh scale,
Yes.
but you know what I mean. And I hate when people say like, you shouldn't say that. No, you can make, I am a firm believer, you can make fun of anything as long within reason. You know what I mean? Like as long as you don't actually mean it and you're trying to take the piss out of something. Like, you know what I mean? Like I nothing just bothers me to my core when I look at someone that's taking what I'm saying out of context and they're just lying to themselves to take this kind of this high road in front of me. You know what I mean? That they want to take the high road and like point out what I said was wrong. Ugh, nothing worse. Nothing absolutely worse. Ugh.
You're funny.
But when it comes to like work and stuff, what have you been doing? Like projects and whatnot.
I've been I've been doing a lot more painting. Um, I've been doing live paintings every Friday in Lamert Park.
Mm.
I've been uh well, that just started like 2 weeks ago. So for like 2 weeks I've been painting every Friday in Lamert Park. But I've been painting more since I've been home. I've been making clothes, constructing garments from scratch,
Mm.
and it's been a challenge for me. But it's been a great challenge because when I finish making a garment, I'm like, whoa, I did that. And in the beginning of this, I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna do this. And it was just like magic just happened.
Something comes to fruition.
Yeah. And yeah, I've been doing that. I've been dancing more. Um, I've been
I miss that, man. I miss that so much. Man, we used to go out.
we used to go.
We used to go out.
No one, I don't think anyone like understands. Like people be thinking they be going out being like getting lit, and I'm like,
Nah.
y'all could have handled what we did in college, man. Like I can't wait for like years to go by, and then we're just like, yo, college.
Cause like in the beginning, it seemed so I thought it was normal because like, well, honestly, I didn't know what was normal at that point because I was so new to like we were all kind of new to SF to some degree.
Yeah,
So when I moved there, I was like, oh, this is how people act out here. But in reality, it was just us. Like we were just vibing so hard.
yeah. We were just like free. Like we ain't got no worries.
I felt free because honestly, I always loved to like dance and like just like have fun. But like where I was from, like you don't do that.
Yeah,
Like you don't dance.
yeah.
But that Oakland party that we've, you know,
That was our initiation friendship.
that was it. And I used to remember the conversation like it was yesterday. You, Marquise, Daniel, Tyler
Uh-huh.
walking up to me. I was like, honestly, like I didn't know anyone at that whole place. But I just fucking went because like might as well, you know? And you guys coming up to me and saying, you want to rage with us? And I was just like, I don't think I have a choice. And I remember Daniel kept looking for Molly and spilled a drink on me.
Oh my gosh.
And he kept getting me drinks, which I appreciated. But still, he spilled a drink on me.
Yeah.
Um, and then the next day, I think I met you guys again. And then I met Donnie for the first time, I think.
No, I think Donnie was at the party.
Was he?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I think he.
I think I was drunk. I know Aiden was there, but he left.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah,
And Matt, it's like that time.
yeah,
It was like so like nerve wracking. You have no idea how nervous I was. Like I don't know, just being in California just made me so nervous.
yeah.
I don't know why. Just being there, I was like, I don't know what. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like everything's just so new. Um, it was just like a whole. It's honestly like a new start to like life. And I really felt that because I felt like I was at the seams ready to burst from just being where I was from, and not just not being able to kind of just explode like my creativity or like what I wanted or my ideas. And that just being like, I always like reflect on San Francisco in that regard to I wouldn't be where I am without it.
For sure.
No matter how much shit I would talk about it.
Yeah.
Without it, like I wouldn't be able to kind of tap into a mind that was very just, in the back seat.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
It's good shit.
That's good shit.
Thankful. We gotta give thanks, you know? We can only give thanks. Everything everything is in divine timing and alignment, and man, all this shit is ending and beginning, and we gonna look back and be like, damn, we survived that shit.
I think survival is a key word.
Yeah.
There was like, yeah, because like I think there was like a year. There was definitely a summer that I don't even think you were there. Like
Yeah. I remember that summer, and no, I wasn't there. And I'm happy I was.
it was toxic. I think the first summer in SF was even more toxic.
Daniel and Mariah.
That was a rough summer on every possible scale. Could have died multiple times. The next summer, let me think about it. I was 22. That was a good summer. It was a good summer. It was pivotal.
Yeah.
Like it was good because like it was a mixture of like working and just going hard in the paint
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of experiencing like a lot of these like fun things to where I feel like I needed that to get it out of my system. And I think the last 2 summers have been pretty chill, to be honest. Maybe
Yeah.
more disciplined, I would say.
Yeah.
But are you ever coming back or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come visit at the end of this month.
Oh,
Uh,
word.
yeah, I depending on things like whatever's gonna happen, I may not come back for the spring, but after that, I don't know. I'm like, it's time to go other places. Like, I don't even want to be in LA anymore. Like, I just want to go around everywhere. You know, I'm about to get my. I want to do a like a little tour around the globe.
World tour?
World tour. Cause I wanna get my license soon. So I wanna like just drive across the country and connect and meet with people, because I feel like the number one thing that needs to happen right now is conversations.
Mm. The most salient conversation is conversation itself.
Yeah. And people, I feel like I'm a person that can have a conversation with anyone
I agree.
times.
Look it
Or
up.
now, like even if it's just 2 minutes, I feel like just 2 minutes,
That's all we need.
all we need. And yeah, I wanna do that. And then yeah, find somewhere where I can settle and set up shop, because I need a studio space.
Tyler like art, not fashion. World tour.
Yeah.
World tour. Well, Tyler, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for I was expecting you to have your share screen on and be doing your things like you be doing on your other ones, but
Not
this
necessary.
yeah.
Not, yeah, we don't need any external bullshit on this one. I don't need any visuals. I think we painted a pretty clear picture in this one.
Yeah, I hope so. Whoever's watching this.
Yeah, no visuals needed.
Yeah.
You don't need to look at my clothes anymore.
Yeah.
Ugh. Like my stew though. Set up a library in the back here. Yeah, tag sale.
That's fire. I need a bookshelf so bad. My my room is like just full of books and clothes and paper from making patterns.
I feel that. I'm lucky I have a garage where I can do this.
That's awesome. You have a backyard too?
I have a pretty big backyard, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I literally live in Paige's. I literally live in Paige's room.
Oh yeah, I remember you said that. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, P full.
Ah,
Who's on the pod?
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, she got that big Sean cosign.
Yeah,
Fucking.
crazy. It's crazy when I seen that because I remember like she told me about it like literally like
I
fucking
remember her mentioning it a long time ago.
like a long time ago, like 6 months ago type shit.
Yeah.
Literally just like right there. And then I completely forgot about it. And then I'm like, oh shit.
Nah.
I knew this was gonna happen, but I completely forgot. That shit was crazy, yo. But that was awesome. Every single rapper person who wants to use Black American aesthetic for their brands, because that's what people are doing now.
Mm,
The best. If you're watching this, Paige Fuller.
P full. Yeah, her stuff is really good.
Yeah.
I feel like she always was like good at like just random things.
Yeah.
Like he's like even like photography. When she like picked up a camera and I was like, oh, like you're good at this.
He has a very distinct, just a very distinct vision for things that in the way she executes it.
Yeah, like for sure. Like you just see it. Like she kind of just gets it. Like it's very original.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
even if I don't even get the reference per se, like with some of her artwork, like I get it. It like
Yeah.
it works, and when I see it, I think of her, which is good.
Hmm.
You know, because I just link her style to her always.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the next Andy Warhol.
Yeah, I hope so. She's better.
She is. She better give me a fucking. She better build a compound, right? Get the freaking the buildings up.
Yeah. We're all we're all going in and up. I can feel it. I
Yeah,
can
I could definitely feel it.